Hi, this is the day the Lord has made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Our devotion for today, March 3rd, 2021, is from the Gospel of John, the 5th chapter, verses 9 through 17. Verse 9. And at once the man was healed, and he took up his bed and walked. Now that day was the Sabbath. So the Jews said to the man who had been healed, "It is the Sabbath, and it is not lawful for you to take up your bed." Jesus performs another miracle on the Sabbath. He heals a paralyzed man and tells him to rise up, take his bed, and walk. And the man does. But the Jewish authorities are upset because Jesus heals the man on the Sabbath, which is against the law of Moses, they say, and because the man picks up his bed and starts carrying it with him as he walks. And they're upset with that because that's a work on the Sabbath and that's prohibited. So they're mad at both men. Verse 11 and following, and he answered them, "The man who healed me, that man said to me, 'Take up your bed and walk.'" And they asked him, "Well, who was the man who said that to you? 'Take up your bed and walk.'" Well, now the man who had been healed did not know who it was. Jesus had withdrawn, and there was a crowd in the place. So the man says, "Well, the guy who healed me told me to take up my bed and walk," and they want to know who it was who said that to him. And he looks around. He doesn't know Jesus' name. He can't see Jesus in the crowd. And so he can't identify who it was who told him. Verse 14 and following, afterward, Jesus found him in the temple, and he said to him, "You are well. Sin no more, that nothing worse may happen to you." And the man went away, and he told the Jews that it was Jesus who had healed him. So a little later on, Jesus finds this man he healed in the temple, which is where the man should be giving thanks and praise to God, right? And he comments on the man being healed and then warns him not to sin anymore so that nothing worse may happen to him. And this is good advice for us as well. Let us turn from our sin and not sin anymore, because nothing good ever happens through our sin. The man who was healed and then warned by Jesus to sin no more goes and finds the Jewish authorities who had questioned him before, and he tells them the man who healed him was named Jesus. Okay? It's sad, don't you think, that healing a person from an illness or of being possessed by an evil spirit is considered wrong when it's done on a particular day of the week? If it happened on a Monday or a Wednesday, hey, we can celebrate, we can party, we can dance, we can do all kinds of things. But, if it occurs on the Sabbath, the celebration is off. And then the focus becomes not that a man has been healed, not that a man has become freed from being possessed by an evil spirit. Rather, the focus becomes the day on which it occurred. That just seems wrong, don't you think? Verse 16, and this is why the Jews were persecuting Jesus, because he was doing these things on the Sabbath. But Jesus answered them, "My Father is working until now, and I am working." So here it is. John tells us this is why the Jews, those Jewish authorities who were seeking out Jesus, were persecuting him, because he was doing these things, these healings, these freeing from being possessed, all on the Sabbath. Jesus' response is, well, his Father's working, so he's going to work too. And he'll continue to do his Father's work as long as there's work to be done. Let me ask you, do you think that there's any time that's a wrong time to show another person compassion and mercy? Is there any time that's wrong for someone to be healed or someone to be freed? Is there ever a time when the law or a rule should take precedence, should be held in a greater and higher authority than an act of compassion or mercy? Jesus' actions recorded in Scripture say no. In fact, Jesus advocates for mercy and compassion to be the rule rather than the exception. Are there times in your life when you've withheld your compassion or your mercy from someone? What do you think Jesus would say to you? Go in peace. Serve the Lord.